horoscope and thought, yeah, that sounds like me. Or maybe it was more astrology is such a sham. A few years ago, my business partner gifted me a reading with an astrologer. Now, I can't say I'm a huge believer in fortune telling of any sort, but I've always kind of liked astrology. Not in a plan my life around it kind of way, but when Mercury's in retrograde, I tend to read it. My astrologer, Linda, asked for my birthday and sent over my star chart. Then we got on a 60-minute call. As we chatted, I was mentally noting all the leading questions and what I was saying to see how it all played out. Have you seen those exposés on 60 Minutes? I have. Out of the blue, she asked me if I danced. Well, I took ballet for 8 years as a kid, and my husband and I used to take West Coast swing classes. But I thought it was kind of funny that my star chart was telling her about dancing. I chalked that one up to a leading question. All of a sudden, she stopped the conversation and said something that took me by surprise. She said, Sharon, art to you is as important as exercise, as important as breathing. A few months later, on a cold, dreary November morning, I woke up already tired. I was working an 80-hour week, drinking wine with dinner to relax, and every morning feeling depressed and overwhelmed. I remember that morning as the alarm went off thinking to myself, Sharon, do you really want to live like this for the rest of your life? I told myself no. Then what are you going to do about it? Linda's words echoed in my head. Art is important to me, as important as breathing. When I started Idea to Canter, it was just me and my business partner, Laura. We did it all from concept to creation to delivery. I got up at 6 a.m. raring to go for those first few years. But as the business has become more and more successful, I've had to step up the ladder and start managing a creative team. Instead of shooting and editing the videos, my team was doing it for me. My world now consisted of project management software, managing payroll, and delving into Excel spreadsheets. Yes, this is why I went to art school, Excel spreadsheets. As I thought about what I really wanted in my life, I realized that I missed that physical analog art creation. I missed actually making things with my hands. Staring at the computer all day was not sparking joy. I wanted less head and more heart in my life. So I made a decision. I decided to make a mess, not your standard mess, but an arty mess inspired by the Arty Messy website. I set my alarm for 5:30 a.m. and with coffee in hand, I sat down and using scraps of paper, my husband's 30-year-old watercolors, art supplies left over from the kids, I made my first mess. I spent 20 minutes not thinking about what the outcome would be. I just played. And I did this every day for 3 months. Some were sort of cool. Some were downright ugly. All were really fun to make. I discovered that there's a freedom that comes when you create a messy disaster first thing in the morning. Number one, you learn that you can make multiple mistakes and you will still survive. Number two, you learn that the process is much more valuable than the actual painting is. And number three, you learn that even if you've created a complete disastrous mess, there's always tomorrow to try again. Starting each day painting, even if it's a mess, has made me a happier person. When the day feels like it's draining my soul, art fills me back up again. Now, I'm not saying you need to consult an astrologer to bring more fulfillment into your life, but if you feel like something's missing, give yourself that permission to prioritize your heart, even if you have to wake up with the stars. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.